Friday. Do it alive. Okay. Alright. Let's see how this is going to turn out. It's pretty nasty. Very nasty indeed. Okay. Running a bit behind today, but we're going to get this done. Make sure everything's good. Feel like it is. I don't know what can be heard or what can't be heard yet. Okay. Okay. That one should have. Okay. Alright, so now we got this Xbox One X, Xbox One, the first generation, so first one released. I've already taken it apart. I actually showed it in one of my last streams. Not the process of taking it apart, but just that I had already opened it up. Because this one, I feel like it's going to take a while. And as you can see, there are a bunch of gross little friends in there. It is raining a bit heavy out here, so I may end up losing y'all. Alright. And I do, that's so gross, do need to clear off this old paste, which is very, very thick on there. I need to probably let that sit while we're getting some other things done, like these little nasty ass boogers. And we can get this all cleaned up, which isn't too bad really. This is probably like the cleanest of it all. So I'm gonna dump these little guys out in a minute. I am missing something. Oh, that's what I'm missing. That's okay. Alright, so I think first I'm just gonna get some of the easy stuff cleaned up. But I'm gonna let the alcohol sit on this board. So let's do that right quick. Let's put some alcohol on here. And we'll just let it sit for a little bit. May put some on a cotton ball. Oops. See where we are. See if I can switch cameras for you to see here. Okay. Like everything's in the way right now. Alright, so switch cameras. Bloop. Bloop. There we go. So you can see a little better, and then I'll zoom in on that. Oops. There we are. What does it look like? There we are. Yeah. A whole lot of pastaroni on there. There we go. Okay. Only have one real monitor I can use, so be a little patient with me. So I'm gonna soak it a little bit. Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and clean. I'm gonna scrub this board down. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna scrub the board down, and then I'll let it soak, and then we'll move on to something else while this soaks. So get Gengar out of the way, and just get this kind of sprayed off here. So before we worry about that, I'm gonna switch y'all back. Oop. Put Gengar back in his little corner there. Alright. Let's see. I need to plug this one in. I need to get something a little stronger to blow that air, because that's a whole lot of nonsense on there. Alright. Let's get this on here. I'm gonna mute the mic so you guys don't have to worry about that sound. Thought it was. Okay, now we got that all blowed off. Wipe some of this dust out of here right quick. Get this all cleaned up some. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now, grab this here. Put some alcohol in that. Here it is. Get that cleaned off. There we are. That works. Excuse me. Okay. All right. That in there. Let's see. What am I going to use? I think we're going to use the Minions. Yeah. Use a little Minions toothbrush. Get this scrubbed down a bit. Then we'll worry about the rest of it. Okay, see how this turns out. We're just doing this to loosen up a lot of the dirt and nasty, and then we'll come back later with a Q-tip and actually clean it up real good. But at least for now, load it off, and then get this dirt and nastiness loosened up, like I said, because it was caked on there pretty dang good. Don't want to scrub too hard or anything. Not trying to loosen up any of the components. Alright. And then once we get this scrubbed down, we'll get the alcohol to sit on that paste. I don't want to scrub with this right now and get that paste all over the board and then have to go back and unstick the nastiness that it is. So, get all this scrubbed off. There we go. Alright. Get this scrub-a-dubbed. Next time I'll make Gengar do this. I don't have to worry about it. And make him work for his spot there. Like I said, just nice and easy. We don't want to break anything. Don't need any components flying off of here. And I'll rotate this board here in a second. Just want to make sure I get all of one angle and then worry about getting a different angle. Yep. Okay, alcohol's already getting dirty. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. It's all murky and stuff. Alright. I tested this before I actually took it apart. Unfortunately, I don't think I actually recorded that at the time, but it was having an issue trying to communicate with its hard drive. So it's possible. What I did find is notorious for these older models is the hard drive seems, not the hard drive itself, but the cabling. So the SATA and the power have a tendency, that little connector has a tendency to break data for whatever reason. That communication just gives out inside there. And I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe it's heat that's in there and it kind of just makes the plastic warp and end up breaking, so then it just doesn't sit properly, which the more I say that, the more viable that sounds. Yeah, that's just nasty. Look at that. I'm gonna soak that out of there, and then we're gonna put some fresh alcohol in there because that's pretty gross. There we go. And we can use that for later anyway. No need in wasting. Get some more 99% in there. So we got that communication issue. There we go. And so I have two options. I can either find similar communication like SATA and just plug it separately along with busting the harness over to, or cracking it, cutting it in half, whichever way you want to state it, and use the power bit that would plug in from here. Sorry. And then use a new SATA and just plug it in on the other end. But if I do that, that means I would have to make sure that it sits proper so airflow goes through and cools down the components properly. Otherwise, obviously we'll have overheat issues and it's not going to function. So that's one option. The other option is trying to find the part, order the part, and apply it. But I do want to at least try either opening up one that does function, swapping the part over to make sure that that's actually what's going to fix it, or using loose connectivity. So just another SATA that I have hanging around to do that with. I think for the moment that's going to work, because like I said, we're not trying to really do much other than take off some of the caked up dirt and grime and all that nasty shit off of here. Let me rotate this board. I'll get the other side, get the other end, get some other angles on it, and then we'll come back, like I said, with a Q-tip later and really get in between there to get all the residue, because this ain't getting residue, this is just loosening. And then I'll also make sure that I get the ports. That's another thing I'll have to use both these with as the ports. Get the inside of the ports and all that good stuff. Yeah, I'll need a Q-tip to get in between there. That ain't gonna work. Not gonna work. Okay. So let's, I might actually just get this soaked up, put some of that alcohol on here from that. I mean, it's dirty, sure, but the alcohol is still going to work the same. Yeah, I think I'll saturate the cotton ball, and we'll do that. And then I'll set it to the side and let it do its thing while we work on another part for the same bit. So let's do that. Saturate the hell out of it. There we go. Squeeze it on there. See that? So now, hopefully, I don't know if you can see that, but that alcohol is on there pretty good. It's almost just sitting on there like a flood. So I'm gonna leave that there for just a second while I gather what I need, and then, of course, once I move it, that alcohol is gonna go everywhere. So I'll rinse, repeat the same thing, and we'll let that sit. Let me see. Let me get my other thing so I have all my screws and such. Give me just a second. See, I think it's still, yeah. I wonder if I could just rotate this real quick. That'll work. I might just do it anyway right now because it's bothering me that it's that nasty. Switch all over right quick. There we go. There you are. Okay. There we go, that looks better. I can actually see what you are seeing. Okay. Okay. We can now see on this other monitor where you are too. So shift this a little bit, just like that. You can see there's quite a bit on there. So let's get one of these big chunky ones. I'm gonna kind of just get after it because yeah, that's so caked. Very much caked on there. I don't want to get that inside there. Need that to not fall in there. Let's see. This works. Scoot it to the center or get it out, one or two. Look at that piece is sitting in alcohol and still just as hard as can be. That's so wild. Okay. Yeah. We'll dump it over here. Alright. Just a smidge more and then do the same thing. Yeah. There you go. Hey. Stuff's just old. Old and falling apart. Right up. There we go. Alright. I don't want that stuck in there. Doesn't really hurt it any, but just for my own mind. I'll sit there and want to try to get every bit that I can out of there and know that I'm not going to be fully successful at that. Okay. Next bit. There we go. Alrighty. In there. Okay. Ugh. It's like crusty bits anyway. Oh, so what I was saying was I could either do that with those connectors, because that's a possibility, or it's also possible the hard drive's having a problem. Now granted, I have some spare hard drives I could use. I do not have them ready and available, so it's likely I'll just try to use its own hard drive at the moment and see if that fails or passes. And then depending on how that goes, that's assuming we get all this put back together today, because I gotta make sure this is all cleaned up. But depending on how that goes is reformatting and all that good stuff. Which in reality it just probably won't take very long, but I want to make sure to have plenty of time. There's no use in me rushing. Yeah, look at that. It's so caked. I could just. That's so wild. Yeah, I'm using a. That's a blunted toothpick. It's not. It doesn't really have an actual point on it anymore, but. Just trying to get some of this stuff off of here. Just by scraping the ends of it and just pushing. That's all I'm doing. I'm not pushing down in the motherboard. Don't want to do that. Not trying to destroy. Trying to refurbish, restore it. See if we can get it functioning again. Alright, I'll get that with the Q-tip. See if there's any big other crusty bits that'll just come up nice and easy for me. Okay. Alright. Look at that. Like just some old crusty cereal or something. I don't know. It's so gross. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Get all that. Hope none of that fell. It might have. Alright, so I'll probably flip this over now and use the other end of the Q-tip. It's dry, but let's see what it can pull up on its own before I worry about getting after it with more alcohol. Okay. Oh, so that wasn't even, yeah. Oh man. I thought there was something there and it wasn't, it was just paste. Alright. Getting there. Yes indeed. Yes indeedly do. Alright. Okay. I guess I should have put in the title. This is my first time, so that's alright. With the Xbox One X, or Xbox One, excuse me. I keep saying 1X like I have one. I do not. Be nice. Maybe. Alright. Okay. There we go. There we are. Starting to see what this is supposed to look like. There we go. Look at that guy. I found him. Hidden amongst all the junk. Ew. Okay. It's a lot. It's quite a bit. Alright. Okay. Let's get a smaller Q-tip. See if there's any alcohol left in there. I could just squeeze out on there. There we go. Yeah, there's plenty in there. There we go. Okay. Starting to get it. I was told you don't have to get every single bit out of there. Like you could really just get the old paste off of the CPU itself and then move on, but I just don't feel comfortable doing that. Not too fond of leaving bits behind if I can help it. So, alright, we'll use this to kind of dab. There we go. And I'll grab another Q-tip See if we can't get some of this stuff. Get this here. Get these bits out of here. I think I squished it down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just get a Q-tip after that. Okay. Let's get some more alcohol. Let's just squeeze it out this little guy. Put it in here so I can dip with it. There we go. Alrighty. Oh goodness. Oof. All right. All right. Okay. Some of it came up. That stuff is just caked in there. Yeah. Good grief, man. I'm gonna use 1 billion Q-tips just on this on this alone. Come on. There you go. Slowly but surely. Yeah, this is kind of why I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. Okay. I can do that real quick too. Oops, too far. There we are. Okay. That one should update. Alright, so now let's do that. Let's see, maybe if I use the other end here. Trying not to scrape the component itself. We don't want to do that. I don't know if maybe I should make it just a bit closer for y'all. I'm not sure. There we go. I think that works. Okay. We're almost done with it. We got quite a bit of it actually. But I got other bits on here I gotta get out of their little cubby holes. Said if I can, I will. Otherwise I may have to just have to move on and repaste, but I really don't want to do that. Anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more alcohol in there. Stubborn as all get out. Let's try again here in the corner. Is that cat hair? Probably. Okay. Okay. get a little bit there. Some in that little rounded corner there. Oh, Jeebus. Alright. Cool. Spam. I like spam. We'll just do that. Blip. Okay. Get that spam out of the way. Spam with rice eggs and a little bit of honey drizzled on it. Okay. Think. Yeah, it is actually starting to come around. Fantastic. 'Cause I'd really like to move on. Get some of this other stuff cleaned up. Got lots to do. Lots and lots to do. So we may have to, hopefully by today we can have this all cleaned up and washed, dried, and then start buffing out the covers on it, but that all depends on how quickly we can get through all this, which again I'm not trying to fly through, but I'm also not trying to spend all day on something like just the CPU, which luckily enough the rest of the device is nowhere near as bad as this. So get this cleaned up as much as we can. Let me get another Q-tip. Maybe this toothbrush will help out actually. Don't know why I didn't think about that. Oh, I guess earlier we didn't want to use it because we didn't want the paste all over everything, but now that we've already done that, we've already used it for what we needed to, it's okay to utilize it for something a little different. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's getting there. Yeah. See if I can convince these little bits to just cling on to the cotton. Let's try this here. There we go. Oh no. Okay, get that off of there. Yeah, getting there. Alright. Slowly but surely. Although it may be slow, don't call me surely. Let's see. Let's get this a little cleaned up here. That little bit in there. Okay. Now we'll get the toothbrush, do the same thing, because that actually seemed to have worked out a lot better. Let's do that. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. Live and learn, I suppose. Live and learn. There we go. Heck yeah. Alright, just get that little bit. Get some more alcohol in here. Now, use this to clean that nasty out. Just a smidge more is all. Not much. Still gonna need plenty of alcohol, so I can pour that. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Let me get this over here. Do this again. See if there's any lingering bits. There's some right there. Man, if I had, oh, there we go. I say if I had like a plastic hook, I wouldn't mind that so much, but I don't. So the next thing I got is wood. All right. Let's see. That sounded horrible. Okay. There we go. Yeah. There we are. That's much, much better. Much better. Okay. Just give her a nice little quick cleanup. See, that's just around that one bit. We've already scrubbed this with a toothbrush across the whole ordeal. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see some of the clean bits, clear bits of the board, as opposed to the dirtier sections that are out here and out here. Maybe if I tilt it, you could probably see it a little better. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, just give it one more once over so we can move on. Now that we got this all dealt with for the most part, still have some bits in there that are being very much stubborn in there in the corners, but I think I'm okay enough to let that go. Yeah. Yep. Because for the most part, we seem to have won that fight. Good. Okay. All right. We'll come back to this a little later. Let me zoom this back out so we don't have I don't have it zoomed too far next time we need something. Okay. Let's go here. And we'll close that out. There we are. All right. Seems like a leaning plane. It's not level. Yeah, that's okay. That's the camera. That's all right. Okay, let's get this out of the way. This out of the way. All right, let's go ahead and work on this fan. It's pretty nasty. Let's change this spot over here. Okay. Go ahead and wipe this area again before we start messing with this fan. So I'm going to use this rag first. I know you can blow air in there. I'm not too big a fan of making the fan spin. I like the noise it makes, but they're not really designed to go that fast. And that's okay. We'll get this fixed up. So we'll use this rack first to get all the nastiness that's in there that we can. So we're not using a billion items to get it cleaned up. Ton of Q-tips, I mean. Get this fan cleaned up pretty good. Okay. All right. Okay. Decent enough. Okay. Clean the backside here. Look at that. Just with a rag, we already got it looking pretty good. Makes it easier. Still, of course, it's got residue and junk on it anyway. So we'll have to get it cleaned up even better, but at least for the moment, this is a good way to get all this loose stuff off. We don't saturate our alcohol with all the dirt and grime. Okay. All right. For the most part, that's good. And we'll get this cleaned up a little better. We're going to use a Q-tip to get into the crevices of this thing. And just have a light wipe with the rest of the blade, but we'll get a cotton ball after most of this. Bigger surface area, but has a higher chance of shredding on these fan blade ends. That's what I'm trying to avoid, so we'll do that. And then I'll flip it over to get the back ends of these blades, which is where most of that tapering is anyway. I think you see that? Yeah, okay. Okay. Alright. Excellent. I think the hardest part of this is pretty much done. The bit that's going to make us wait the longest is drying the panels and stuff once we get that far. Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't run into that yet, so let's do this here. I may have had, yeah, I think either this is the last one or I went one more over, but that's okay. Either way. Either way's fine. Alright, and we'll flip this. Get the back ends of these blades. And then we'll get a cotton ball itself and use it to cover more, get more coverage on these blades. So I'm not using 10 Q-tips per one blade, which I also had to learn at the cost of supplies, unfortunately. That's okay. Go through that pretty quickly here, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. We're pretty good. Okay. Alright, we can still use that one, so I'm not gonna toss it. Let's grab one of these here. Just dibble dabble in there. Don't want to soak up too much. There we are. Alright, let's get some coverage. Yeah, see, it already shredded the cotton ball on the end of the blade there. Okay, that's two. There's 5 blades, this is 3. 4. Good. And 5. Now we'll flip her over, do the same thing, but let me go ahead and get this in a ring here. All the way around. Put it in between. Same thing. Try to do what we can. Oh, it's got caught on the bar on the back. That's okay. Right there. Just like that. Let's do that. There we are. It's okay if it tears it up. We got plenty of cotton balls. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. Alright. Yes, indeedly do. There we go. Spit it out. There we go. Yeah, see, it's not too bad. That other rag took out a lot of that, which is very, very good. Makes it easier. We'll have to get a Q-tip, I guess, in these smaller areas, assuming there's, in reality, there's not much of anything in there, but we'll do that. Go ahead and get these bigger surface areas. That one. I don't need a Q-tip maybe to go underneath. Or can we get it with the... No, I think we got it. Yeah. We got it. Not too shabby. Okay. There we go. All around town. All right. That all cleaned up here. Okay. Sounds pretty good. Nice and clean so far. I always wondered if I could just dump this in some of those a specific type of waters that you can put, like the, can't remember what it's called anymore. The water you can build electronics in. But I don't think there's a way to really do that and clean. I don't think that's, I mean, I know how, I know that it's supposed to be used to help with cooling, but I didn't know if there was another way to do that. That'd be cool. Okay, so we'll get rid of that old tore up thing and get us another, and then we'll start getting the inside of these blades. But no, okay. All right, give me just a second. I'll be right back. Wife and daughter are heading out, so give me just a second. Yeah, there's a spot there. See that spot? I think you can. Anyway, that's what I gotta get off of there. Wherever that spot is. Yeah. Okay. So we can get that off of there. It's pretty sticky, whatever it is. Throw the balance of that fan off. That'll cause overheat issues. And then somebody will get mad at me about it. I don't want that. I'm trying to help y'all keep these things. Alright. There's one there, was one there too, so. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're good. Spot seems to have gone away. Let me check my other monitor here so I can actually see too. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. All right, cool. Fan is just nice and clean as can be, but look at that. Ew. Whatever that sticky stuff was, that could have been like bug guts or something, man, from them roaches or whatnot. Yeah. That's so gross to think about. Okay. So let's get this camera swap back over. Boop, boop. Okay. Continue on from there. Alright, so now we got the fan done. We still need to come back to the board, but we'll do that in a little bit. So let's put this over here. Yeah. Okay. Alright. We also have the heatsink, which pretty dirty but easier to do. A lot easier. Might be able to. There we go. Yeah, that's better with that one. Okay. And so we got this coarse brush, which I'll get all the nitty-gritty stuff out of there, and then I have a soft brush to just kind of get all the any of the loose bits on the top here. Just get them out of there for right now. And you can see it on the table here. Yep, that's got paste on it we got to deal with too. Almost forgot about that. Actually, I did forget about that. Alright. Okay. Ugh. Okay. That's from the brush. Look at all that. Ah. Well, you dirty. All right. Let's flip around here. All right. We'll wipe this up before I do anything else with the coarse brush, but look at all that, man. Look at this shit. What the hell? I bet you all y'all's looks just like that too. It's guaranteed. Dirty animals. Alright. So we'll get this cleaned up with this here. Much as we can anyway. For right now. There we go. Okay. I will toss these little bits. Oh, trash can moved on me. There we go. I gotta get that trash can back. Dang old trash can back. There we go. Okay. Oops. Just kind of fan it out in the trash so get a lot of the bigger gunk off and I can still use this rag. And these rags are fantastic. Okay. Alright, so we'll use the coarse brush. I don't know if you can see in between there. Not sure. Let's see if I can get y'all to be able to see that. Check my other one here. Yeah, right in between in there. You can see some stuff. And that's what we're trying to get out. We'll use that coarse one after that. We'll do that. There we go. Just let it run its bristles in between there and loosen up all the nastiness. There, look at that. It's already stuff on there. We just cleaned that up. All right. There we go. And then once we do all this, of course the stuff in between that we can't get at all, or at least the brushes are probably likely loosened up, we can just blow out. Well, I don't want the paste on everything, but somehow that's probably going to happen. Alright. That looks pretty close to about right. We'll grab that same rag again. Get all that cleaned up. Look at that. Boom. That rag's so awesome. Okay. And I'll mute y'all for just a second so I can use that blower. Alright. Oops. Oop. I'm just gonna run over everything. Okay. Now then, paste. More paste. Gotta fight this paste yet again. Okay. So we went from one end of the spectrum to the other is what it feels like. So let's zoom in on this here for y'all so you can see what's going on. And then I'm gonna swap over. Boop boop. Immediately. There we are. So now I'm gonna get, oops. Let's see which way I go on this here camera. There we are. Okay. Get that all cleaned up. I already used that other Q-tip, I believe, didn't I? Yeah, it is, where that nastiness came from. Okay. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna absorb all this, because you can see in here. I'm sure you can see in there anyway. That thing is, it's a dirty bowl. Yeah, all the little bits floating around in there. So we'll go ahead and just soak some of it up in this cotton ball. And then just like the other one, only this is gonna run over my table. We're just gonna let that sit for just a second or two. Try to make it break up that paste a little bit so we're not fighting it so much. I may even be able to get that off with this cotton ball. I doubt it, but I won't try. Let me try with the other one. This one's doused in alcohol, so let's try. Let's try and see if we get anything off with this. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Nice. Ooh, good job. Hey, oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, that worked. Sure did. Oh yeah, I like that. Ah, look at all that. Woo. Okay. I had to. Well, got it all in there. Let's see if we can get this out. I don't want it to cake onto this. There we go. Take your bits with you. And then probably grab that with this toothpick, maybe a little easier. Oops. Sometimes I forget which camera I'm using here. There we go. Oh. Okay, there we go. Some of these big loose bits we can just grab with this toothpick and get them out of the way so they don't fall into the fins. We don't want gunk in the fins, that's for sure. Alright. Nothing else loose? No? Okay. Just make sure there's no more in there. Yeah, there's some right there. Okay. And that's alright. Alright. Let's get this guy cleaned up a little bit. So I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to just dribble some of this alcohol on it. And then we'll go with a nice Q-tip here. Probably should use a fat one, but I've already got this out, so we'll do that instead. There we go. Get this little guy cleaned up quite well. It's very nice, very nice. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Ugh, so thick. Ooh, you thick. Alright. That there. Yep. Wipe that off. And we'll swap sides here. Okay. There we go. Oh. Okay. Nice. Dude, this Oh, this came out fantastic. Like, this is so much better than fighting it. Oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna have to fight the hell out of this. Okay. I think I'm gonna get a Q-tip and just kind of lightly get some of the sides, because I feel like maybe some of the paste may have gotten in different parts there. So I'll go ahead and do that too while we're at it. Just clean up some of these side bits a bit, just in case. Ain't gonna hurt none anyway. There we go. Okay, flip that around. It's got just a smidge alcohol on it. That's all I needed. Just a little smidge on there. Just kind of do a light surface clean on it. And then we'll move on, because this turned out perfectly. That couldn't get any more perfect than that. Okay. That looks great. What do you think? Just a smidge out there. There we go. Yeah. And you can see right through the fins. Okay, good. Fantastic. Let's get this moved out of the way. That bit's done. There's some other smaller bits we can just kind of clean off right quick, like as dusty as I'll get out, so that won't take much. That won't take much. I probably need to switch you back over until we actually need to zoom in a bit. There we go. Okay. Probably need to get a Q-tip inside there. Yep. Alright, same thing. I'm going to meet y'all again so I can use this, which I think would be easier this way. There we go. Yeah, I mean, Q-tip hadn't even touched this thing and it actually looks fine. I mean, I think I'm okay with that, so we'll move on from there. Alright. So some of these plastic bits are just going to go in the bin, and we're going to wash them with soap and water anyway, but got to at least get a lot of this loose crap off of these things. We still have more nasty bits, but just get some of the easy ones out real quick. Get these out of here. Just a little boop and a bopping. Get the rubber out. Alright. Flop. Okay. Alright. Oh, look at there. There's some right there. Hell yeah. Get this all cleaned up. Yeah, all the nasty. Ugh. Ugh. Alright. Man, this little brush is fantastic, but it's such a soft brush. It's very easy to damage and fall apart, because this is not this is not what it's supposed to be doing. But I really like this brush. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Just quick blow off and move on. There, hold that. And so this was the piece I was talking about. This attaches to the hard drive. This will go to the board, power and such, power signal, all that good stuff on this side for ground. And then the data will come in through here. And so it's possible that there's damage somewhere in here that's causing that type of issue. Unfortunately, the way these are designed, they are not made to be opened at all, period. Look at there, it's cracked actually. Now that I'm looking at it, that's probably why. So it took a good little bit there. So let me show you where that crack is right quick, and then we'll move on so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. It's gonna take me a second to get it zoomed in, because get it zoomed in properly anyway. All right, let's see. Yeah, you can see that crack right off the bat. Yep. Oh yeah. So somewhere in there, that crack is causing communication issues. So I don't see anything inside particularly at the moment as far as pins are concerned. They look fine, but yeah, that housing is cracked all to Hades there. So likely that's what we're having a fight. So that kind of helps me out here, helps us out really. So what we're going to end up doing with that is, like I said, we'll either take one out of a functioning just to test it and see if it works. And if it does, great. I can reinitialize that Xbox and send it out. If it doesn't, then it's also possible the hard drive is just bad. I mean, that's always a possibility, of course, but I just really feel with the damage on this component, it's highly likely to be either be 90% of the problem. Yeah, either be 90% of the problem or be the hard drive, but I really think this is it, which is kind of difficult for me to find by itself. These are just some little bits. This is part of the communication as such. This is for the disk drive, which we'll get to, because that's another one that's going to take a little bit to get cleaned. Let me go ahead and clean these two, since I already know this is probably the problem. I'm not going to do anything with that. Alright, sorry Gengar. Get that off your head, bud. Put this over here. Okay. Where's that cotton ball? There you are. It's already got alcohol on it. Steeped in it. And just give this a quick little clean and wipe off. Don't take much. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're on the big camera. Okay. Okay. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep. So that's good for now for these. Simple, easy. Knock that out of the way. All right. Another weird, gross one is this here speaker. That's nasty. That's very nasty. I want y'all to enjoy this grossness with me, so I'm gonna do that. That way we can together. Yeah, ready to get it. Look at there we go. So if you're looking at it here, you can see all the little nice friends you got in there. Pretty gross. Yeah. Ver nasty. We'll get those cleaned up real quick. Dabble this in some alcohol. That sounds gross. That's not cool at all. Okay. Hey, y'all can't hear it, but it's got like a crunchy sound to it. It's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty. Look at that. Look at that. Look at what y'all doing, man. Look at this. Ew. What? What the? Ew. Alright. Yep. Let's get another one. That looks like I'll need to get some more alcohol in there. Okay. I might have to start buying some alcohol here pretty soon. Running out. Okay. Just a smidge right now. Okay. I think what we'll do is clean this here. Get this cleaned up. Get the outside bits of it done. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, can be removed. I might do that. I might make it a little easier, but I'm also afraid to break it, so we'll see. Because although I have another Xbox One, it's fully functional, and I really, really don't want to have to Frankenstein something together. I don't have to if I just leave it alone. But I gotta get it clean. Look at that. Ugh. Gotta get it clean. So let's do that. Let's get this cleaned up. Just gotta be careful not to tear the speaker. I might take it out anyway. That way I can put this plastic. Oh, look at that. I think I'll have to glue that back together. It's okay. That is okay. It's just a speaker. It ain't doing a whole lot. Okay, so let's see if I can do this without breaking anything else, because then it won't matter anymore. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that. That feels like pressure, so it might actually help. Oops, sorry, I keep doing it off camera. I don't realize it. Let's see. I don't want to mess it up. So if I press down, yeah, I don't think I can. This thing's not. These are pretty stiff, so I'm just gonna clean it while it's in there. Do what we can with it, which would be fine. Okay, it's way better than what it was, but still gotta get the. I'm assuming those are eggs. Get all that crap out of there. Try to blow some of this. See. I feel like there's a flap or something there. Okay. Okay. I thought that was an actual discoloration, and it's not entirely. It seems most of this is supposed to be that color. It just doesn't help. It makes it look gross with all the little bits that were hanging out in there. Okay. Yeah, I think that's exactly what that is. Alright, so we're good. Seems that we're doing pretty good. Okay. Alright, come on now. There we go. Alright. Just as much as we can in there, which is getting actually quite a bit. Yeah. So Q-tips are doing pretty good at getting all the small bits in there. I'll worry about the leg later. Like I said, it's not detrimental to this device. And it may be okay with one anyway. But we can get that, I can get that glued later. I feel like this is gonna have to take time to set, so we're probably not gonna be able to do much other than just clean it today. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Set that to the side. Move on to the next bit. This one doesn't seem that bad. Seems alright. So what we'll do is move it back over. There we go. This is like the cleanest board on this entire device currently. I mean, there's some little nastiness in there, but nothing compared to what we've been seeing. I'm gonna have to hold this so it doesn't, lean on those components there. I think I'm gonna use one of the bigger ones. There's a lot more flat surface, so it should be okay. Should be alright. That's where the screws go. Just fine too. Okay. Alright, get that off of there. There we go. Okay. There we go. Getting the edges where some of the nasty stuff was actually sitting on. Okay. Yep. Look there. It was white. Let me try this one here. Get some of this. I feel like there's some. There we go. Some extra crispy bits just hanging out on the side there, and I couldn't get it with the other one. Yep. Okay. Nice and easy. Don't want to damage anything. Okay. I'll have to get a smaller Q-tip to go to that side, so we'll flip it over. Go ahead and start getting all this. Yep. Get this all done up, and you can see all the nasty little bits on there too. Well, I don't know if y'all can, but there's some. I'm assuming those are eggs. I'm no expert. It sure does seem like it. Yeah. Ugh. Like whatever the hell that is. There we go. Ugh. All right. There's quite a few of those little crispy bit sides in here, and you don't really notice them until that alcohol goes across, and then it just makes it visible for sure. Ugh. That's just nasty. Them little crispy bits. Still sitting over here. And I can't really apply too much pressure on it on a flat surface because it's got bits on this side, so I don't want to damage anything. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me get some of these small ones, and bigger ones are a little more expensive. And these will, I feel like these are pretty good at trying to get this stuff off here. Get a little rougher with them. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. All right. Okay. All right. Yep. Seems like for the most part, it's not doing too shabby. Yep. Okay. So now we need to get all this over here. I think I'm gonna do like I did last time. Give me a toothbrush over here. Start scrubbing that out. Toothbrush, get those bits out of there a little easier anyway. It's nasty. Bit gross. Yeah. All right. Now we'll come back behind with this Q-tip. That's for whatever reason decided it was gonna grab onto something and fall apart on me. Okay. This will help out tremendously. Getting the nastiness off. I think I need to put some more alcohol in there. So I just drenched this with alcohol. Let me go ahead and do this. There we go. Yep. Okay. Get this done up in here. Get all that. There we go. That's much better. Okay. Same thing to this side. I think there might be enough for me to just kind of... No, there's not. Okay. Is there any left? Any alcohol left in there? Yep. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty. Just to soak that up, and I'll go ahead and use it to clean because we'll just trash this one. It's done. Just get all these little weird bits off of here. Dump that one. Get us another Q-tip. It's a dry one. Figure we get this dry Q-tip on here to soak up the alcohol along with the dirty. Yeah. I don't know if that can be seen or not, but it goes. It went from white to brown. Which is the whole purpose of what we were talking about earlier, so should be good. Get that. There we go. Okay. There we go. Yep. Okay. Now this is gonna sit and dry anyway. There's quite a bit of alcohol that was in that port. Okay. Ugh. Look at that. Ugh. So nasty. I don't understand. Why do people do that? Well, I guess really it's not people, but these roaches, man, they really are. They're just gross. Nasty things. Let me get this one ready for y'all. That way we can be disgusted together. Yep. And if I flipper the doodle, it's really not that bad on the other side. Just a couple of specks on there, but this is gross. That's extra gross. Alright. Put some more alcohol in here, and then this toothbrush is gonna have to have at it. Scrubble double dub. Just throw that away, that's fine. Okay. Yep. Alrighty. I think you can still see it. Yep. That's pretty gross, man. Pretty gross. Ugh. So nasty. It could be anything. I mean, it could have been bugs. It could be somebody's drink. I mean, but it just... from the way this has been going so far, it's very much from them bugs. Very, very much from those bugs. I have to look up a better way to clean this just to make sure I can do this properly, because I still gotta scrub that caked up nonsense off because this toothbrush just ain't doing it. I could try a little harder toothbrush, but I gotta be very careful not to damage anything. Let me see. Let me check this one. That's a little harder, so let's try that. Just try to keep it on top. Yeah, that ain't working, boss. It might help get some more of this other stuff off though, which is fine too. Alright. Ugh. So gross. Okay. I'll set that down. There we go. Got that connector to worry about, so I don't really want to I don't want to apply pressure on there without something being on there. Let me try to get the rest of this white one done, and then we'll move on to the little more difficult bit. Problem is I don't want to scrub something else off. But this stuff is just caked, man. It's so much on here. Okay. There we go. Go back with the dry one. Yeah, see, it's scraping that QR off, unfortunately, but those bugs, man. It's so crispy. I don't know if that's rust. Maybe it's rust. I'm not sure what that is. I can't really tell, but it's possible that's rust. I don't think so. Yeah, it's coming off. Slowly but surely. Look at that. All orange and nasty this side. And then now we're going to try with this and see what it looks like. Get some more of this off here if all possible. Try not to apply too much pressure, but man, I got to be able to scrub. Woof. Scrubble double dub. Oh, grossness in this here tub, that's for sure. Look at that, orange. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's from the bugs or if that's like something that may have spilled. To be honest with you, I mean, it could seem like it'd be darn near anything. Anything is possible. And get some of this other stuff cleaned up too, though. Because that was this alcohol has actually done pretty good at trying to get a lot of this gunk off of here. Like some of it's so crusted or caked up on there, I can't tell if it's a component or if it if it's just one of the nasties on there. I mean, there's some obviousness to it, but at the same time, it's like, dude, this is crazy. That's why it's always good to get these machines serviced, man, because this stuff will overheat, cause shorts. So many bad things can happen. I mean, I get it. Game consoles are a dime a dozen, but you spent hundreds of dollars on this thing. Why not just spend a little bit extra and get it cleaned up? You know, it won't even have to be immediately. Like, hell, usually anywhere between 2 and 4 years later, just do it and it'll be just fine. I say that as an average for most households. Because, I mean, hell, I got this. This is an Xbox One. So, what is that, like 2015? Here we are 11 years later, and I'm cleaning it for the first time because this one actually didn't have a busted security seal on it. Not that I remember. So it had never been serviced before at all. That means no one even took it open or took it apart to just clean the fan, just basic stuff. Ooh. really starting to be convinced that that might be more. I need something to scrape. I can try to use some of these other tools, which really sucks because I don't want to damage them, but let's see. See if there's something I can come out of this, because I can get off of here. That's a lot. I figure so long as it's not on the actual board, might be okay. There's a lot of junk sitting right on the end of there. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah. Just a smidge just in there. I can't tell if that's my plastic device falling apart or if it's the organic matter coming off of the metal. Get that cleaned up, and I'll throw this key tip out. Alright, clean this off with here. I think what I'll try is the shorter end, or the more narrow end I should say. Should probably be able to scrape a little harder. Put some alcohol in that end piece there and have at it. Yeah, less surface area because it's not as wide obviously, but I think as far as trying to get as much as I can off, it's going to allow me to apply just a smidge more pressure. Get that scraped off. Again, as much as possible. That's a lot. Okay. I think it was a combination after all. Combination between bug junk and surface rust, because I don't know. I can't see it well enough to say. Unfortunately, I don't have any special device that lets me zoom in even further. Well, clearly anyway. It looks like there's grooves going from left to right, or top to bottom, I will say now, because I'm going to try this way. See if that helps. Let me give that a whirl. Hang on just a second. Refresh that. Yeah, that's what I figured. Stupid commercials, man. God bless ads. Yeah, I don't have any kind of special thing to make the ads go away. I don't have that, so alright. See if that is that a little more out in the open. Or are we still kind of sitting on the side here? Where are we at? Everybody caught up? YouTube's falling a little bit behind, but still there. Okay. So let's try with the grooves, which probably should have been a better idea to do from the get-go. It's usually how things are done, instead of going against the grooves. Yeah. Well, I guess that page, the music page, just decided to not play anymore. My computer's being weird. It was doing fine for a while. Okay, yeah, that's a little much. There we go. Let's get YouTube refreshed. There we are. Okay, that's better. Well, I think we got about as much as we can off, because it's gotten to where it doesn't even feel like it's scraping anything anymore. So I think that kind of confirms it was a little bit of both, which is pretty gross to think about, but it'd been on there long enough, or it was just causing a reaction. That's crazy. So we'll clean this up with a Q-tip as much as we can now that we've basically kind of got it sorted, understood what's going on here. Because I mean, if there's no more that's coming off, there's no more that's coming off. And it being a chip device, whatever you want to call it, I don't really have a way to get all this off of here. It'd be cool if I could put soap and water, because then I'd let it soak all night long or something, but yeah, like I'm running my finger across it, it doesn't even stop on it anymore. So it's pretty much whatever. Yeah, I'm assuming that's got to be rust surface, which is fine, it'll still be alright. Just kind of crazy. Okay, well, let's move on from there. Actually, I can use the other end of that. So that was about as clean as that's gonna get. Alright. So this is the hard drive I was talking about as well. It's possible that this drive was, you know, just having issues. This one's a 500 gig. I have other 500s. I don't have very many terabytes. Actually, I don't have any terabytes now that I'm saying this out loud. They're just really hard to find, at least at an affordable price, because hard drives are just skyrocketed, which is redonkulous. Okay, so now we're gonna get this. Let me zoom you out of here. There we go. And then flip you back over to the other camera. I think make it a little bit easier for everybody to see. Oops. Where am I at here? There we go. Okay. Alright. That way everybody can see what's going on. Okay. This is the disk drive. So we're going to clean up the outside a bit. Find our way in, which looks like we have to take this off. Take those 4 screws out. Take a peek inside, see what's going on. Make sure we get it, get the lens cleaned up, and if there's anything I need to lubricate, I'll do that while I'm in there. Careful not to get any nonsense inside. And I think that's, well, we're gonna clean it anyway, but I think, yeah, that's a velvet, so we can just kind of lightly go over that to make it kind of go from one end to another as far as the dust is concerned. But like I said, we're gonna crack it open anyway, but go ahead and just clean what we can, whatever we can. So there we go. Okay. And we're going to take this off here. Let me get a clean alcohol at a cotton ball. Go. Just make sure my tool doesn't have any more alcohol on it, because I don't want to destroy the sticky stuff. I don't want it to degrade and then not be able to stick anymore. We don't want to do that. So, and of course, I don't want to destroy the padding itself. But I got to get to the screws in order to get this open so I can clean it. Because if the rest of this was nasty, there's no way that inside is nice. There's no way it's pretty inside there. And I think I'll go from the other side because that looks like a flap. So let me flip her about. Let's do this here. Just hope it doesn't tear or cause any of the glue to not adhere anymore. Which is why I like this tool so much, because it usually does pretty good at picking it up without doing that. Alright, getting there. Nice and sleazy. There we go. Yeah, see. That way we don't lose that sticky stuff. So we can put it back on and everything will still sit proper. That might be a 1. It actually probably is a 1. This is 1, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Let's get that off. Right now we'll just put them here because we'll put it all back together right here. Yeah, this is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to because of how dirty this thing is. I figured we could just do this, you know, within a couple hours pretty easy, but I'm not 100% sure anymore. Okay. Like I said, this is my first time, so I don't know, aside from taking those 4 screws off, how I'm going to get in just yet. I do know it doesn't have an eject as far as like an actual mechanical component to eject a tray, so that part of it's pretty easy to understand. There's a little slit there, so looks like it would maybe hinge like a door. Oh, there's one there too. Is there anything underneath these? Well, I may have to look this up then. Is there anything under here? Looks like that clips on. So I might be able to get that off of there. Maybe that'll give us a little more access. Just gotta be careful. So are these coming up this way? They do. Okay. Okay. Ah, don't want to force nothing. Oh, that's loose. That's loose. That's loose. It's still hanging on somewhere. I don't know if it's, you know, if there's something on the inside that's holding that, or if it's just because the shell hasn't let go yet. But I definitely want to get in here. It's as much bugs as we've seen on this thing. There's no way I couldn't live with this thing not being cleaned, especially not if I want to send it out. So we'll just do this, because regardless of, I need to see if there's anything that this is hiding. Pinhole of some kind, or a button, or switch, a lever. Maybe like Resident Evil, probably gotta grab a coin and hold it to a statue or something. Of course, getting this off will help clean up that nasty shit there, stuff there. Excuse me. Whoops. All right. Okay. Yeah. Didn't really do anything. That's kind of what I was afraid of, but I just don't want to break anything. Okay, there we go. There's that one. Does this side do the same thing? Did it reattach? I don't think so. Let's see. If I set it down, it might snap back into place, and we don't want that to happen. This side let loose. For some reason this side doesn't want to. Let's see. See if we can give it a little convincing. Just a little. Oh, does this slide out? Is that how that works? Almost, kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't see anything that's hanging on to it. See, it makes it feel like the only thing that was hanging on to it was the screws. I mean, let me use this so I don't damage my tool too much. Just don't want to break anything, which is the other problem to this. Okay, something I'm not understanding here. Is there a clip? Not that I can tell. There's something that's hanging on or holding. And it's doing it quite well. So I don't want to damage the plastic or pop it. Oh, there we go. Just had to give it a little bit more oomph. Okay, so it looks like it slides out. Let's see if it actually slides out. Okay. Maybe I need a different pressure. Okay. So that lip grabs it. So that means there's still something else I'm not doing. And this shell just doesn't look like it comes off that easy. Like, I feel like there's a different way to go about this, and I don't know what that is. I don't want to bend anything, but just trying to see. Because it looks like the shell looks like it could come off. It just doesn't really give me a point of how. Ah, there we go. Ah, okay. So it just peels off. Okay. Alright. Now that we got that out anyway. So there's some there. Ooh. Well, that makes me a little mite nervous there. This is a little different to what I'm used to. Okay. Alright, what's hanging on? Must be the end of that. Yeah, right there's hanging on. Okay. So we can definitely get it out. Just got to be very careful about it. And I think that's the only piece, which is here, that's actually hanging on. Let's do this. Nope. I don't want to break it. But I need to get to that lens so I can clean it. So let's peel this back just a smidge. There we are. Okay. There we go. Okay. That casing doesn't look too bad. Just the outsides. And even then, it's really not that bad. Not compared to what we've been seeing. I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to play with it. I'll clean it, but I'm not playing with it. Okay. Most of this looks like I don't have to take it further down apart. I can just clean it where it's at. So I can get some alcohol on them tracks, clean off some of that, re-lube it a bit. That'll be easy. I might be able to access the lens. Okay, so this is what pushes down on the disc coming in. Okay, and there's the mechanical components of it. And then of course I need to clean the roller that pulls the disc in and out. So not that one. Must be this one. Yeah. Okay. Is there something stopping that from turning? Probably engage and disengage type thing. Yeah. I don't want to force anything to turn if I don't need it to. But we'll get it cleaned up. Just gotta find our way in. Alright, so this is all attached, which is fine. So I think, yeah, I can do that. So it looks like there's a screw on the back that'll allow it to kind of hinge, at least on that back side, which is here. I don't know what's under this yet, so we can see what's under there. See what's under here. What you got under there, aside from a ribbon cable? Nice and easy. All right. That looks to be pretty much about it. Yeah, there ain't much anything else in there. Okay, so we'll leave that there. Don't really want to test any fate, but all right. So we'll do that. We'll just get it cleaned up. We can get a Q-tip in on most of this and do just fine. I think we'll be all right that way. Let's see. Oh, I'm curious. Oh, I see. Okay. There it is. 1, 2, 3. So there's maybe a fourth one. There might actually be a fourth one. My curiosity is starting to overwhelm me. So, hoping you come up. Okay. There's the ribbon for that. All right. I don't even know what time it is. Let's see, what time is it? 1:50. Okay. All right. Does this do the same thing here? This ribbon cable and this one. That one does. Okay. And those two look similar, so I would guess that this does the same as that one. So we'll get this here. Yep. Okay, there's just enough to get my finger in there, that's all I needed. So this one's weird though, because it's a very, I mean, it's a, shoot, that is a 90-degree turn. That's scary. To say the absolute least. Okay. Okay. That's gonna be interesting trying to put this back together. But we're here, so let's do this. All right. I'll keep these out just in case. All right, so I'm hoping those don't signify anything other than a grounding point. I'll probably get that real quick because it's just staring at me. There we go. Okay. There, makes me feel better. Alright, so I'm gonna just stare at you while you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do. Go ahead and get the top bits of those important parts anyway. Typically something that needs heat dissipation, so alright. Unfortunately, I have no idea if this music is too loud for anyone in here. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, just get a sip of water before I get any further in here. All right. Alright, let's get these little bits in here off. So I got those, which were for the casing itself. Put those with the case. Okay. Let's go ahead. Is it a number 1 or a 0? That's very likely a 0. Yeah. Okay. And I don't think I have 0 out, do I? I do. Okay. There. I don't see any over here, but it's just that 360 has little tabs on it like that too. To get that off, so we gotta be careful of that. Also need to be careful of the solder points right here. Now, are these the same size? I don't think so. I think they're different heads anyway. Like the actual physical heads on these things. Yeah, they're 2 different ones. It's a flat. That's a rounded. Okay. Okay. All right. Are you coming off easy, or do I gotta find a weird point to try to get you out of there? Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So that's the motor for that. Okay. And I'm hoping, so 1, 2, 3, I'm hoping this comes off without having to really remove too much of anything else. But now that I'm looking deeper into it, I may have to take these off to ensure that I can. Which starts to make me worry about if there's any timing. I don't think so. I think it's based off of probably sensors in its own time or resistance. I don't feel like there's supposed to be anything else to that. Okay. Let's take this off. Oh. Well, we're either gonna mess it up or we aren't. Luckily this is mine, I guess. Okay, alright, quit turning that. Wonder if there's a way to release tension. Okay. I just don't want a chance breaking something if I don't have to. That's for sure. Alright. We'll find out if I really needed to take that off or not, but at least if anything, that also allows these to be turning a lot easier, because I can't clean this roller all the way around if I don't have a way to get to all the sides. Excuse me. Alright, and is that a 1 or is that a 0? That's probably a 0, isn't it? Yeah, it's still 0. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see if this releases. It does. Okay, so I didn't have to do that, but again, that's fine. I probably could have just taken this one off and left that one on. But I didn't want to take any chances, so we're okay now, either way. Alright. I might try to just put this back on. Now that I know that. There we go. Okay. Alright, feels good. So that's fine. So I'll get a cotton Q-tip after that here in just a second. Let's check on this lens. There's a few smudges here and there for whatever reason. I don't know what else to call them really, so that's what we'll go with. And that way I can clean this too. Let's go ahead and do that here in a second. Okay. So we've been at this for a little while now, so what I'm going to do is just take a quick break. I got to check on my wife. It's raining out there pretty heavy. My wife and daughter. So I'll be right back shortly, and then we'll continue on.
Kroger makes it easier than ever to satisfy all your protein and fiber needs with our exclusive brands. Now you can find these
Oh, thank you. Oh, you got some on your hand. Love you, sweet stuff. Say again. Oh, you're fine. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and then I'm gonna shut her down for till a little bit later. Huh? Huh? Oh yeah. Thank you. Well, I don't know if I had a meter or not. Let's see. Can't really tell. No, probably not. Alright, well, now y'all get to hear all the nonsense. That was my bad. Okay, so we'll get this cleaned up right quick. Like I said, we'll use a Q-tip on this, pick up all the nonsense that's hanging out, and then that'll be it. So that's still going to take a little bit, but I mean, this was white, and now it's all gray. So using the toothbrush to get all this nonsense off actually worked. Or at least getting it loosened up. And now we'll use the Q-tips to go back and get it straightened out proper. Yeah, I have to use the little ones. I was going to use one of the bigger ones, but there's too many small components. Let's see. And hopefully, maybe I can find a spare connector for that hard drive and its power, the SATA. Aside from opening up the one of mine. Yeah, so quick. It goes from white to gray so fast. Because there's just so much on here, it's gross. It was so freaking gross how nasty this thing was. That's why it's taking so long. Usually it doesn't take me though. By the time 3 hours, I typically already have the thing machine back together, repasted and all that good stuff. But man, this needed a lot of help. A lot of help. Like, I feel like even with this Q-tip, or with these Q-tips, it's sometimes it just doesn't feel like it's enough. So fast. That's drying out on me. Let's get another one in there. Did I get any alcohol in it? I did. Okay. There we go. Get around that chip. I still got to repaste this thing too. It's like I could just see it cake as I'm going through. It's kind of wild. All right. Pour a little more alcohol in there. I'm about to get some more alcohol after this one. Yeah, I used like a quarter of this container so far on this one. want to go too far. I don't want to forget where I'm at. Go through Q-tips like nobody's business. So I just went through there. Alright. Getting there. Oh, I got about half the board done now. I gotta get all this little section here. I actually forgot about that. Alright. Get in between here. Oh, oh. Nope. There we go. Leave no cotton behind. Oh, wife brought me some Starbucks, which is very nice. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. I'll come back and get all the innards of those ports here in a minute. And that way I can make sure to get those cleaned up too. Because I have to pinch the Q-tips to fit in there anyway, so. And I'll have to come back into this section here in a second. Oh, graveyard of Q-tips, man. Q-tips and cotton balls. Look at that. Was white. I'm about to get that kind of well there because I think that's some extra bits. Gotta be careful not to damage the board and the traces. I don't have a device to zoom in that far. I can get close, but not that close. Yeah, there's some, excuse me, there's some, sorry about that, some face coming off there. I have to let that sit for a second. So let's grab E-tip. Kind of just squeeze it. Squeeze some of the juice on there. Put some alcohol. Yeah, let that soak. Alright. So that bit's gonna soak for a second even though it's gonna dry. And then we'll come back to it. Alright. Seems like it did its job. Okay. Fantastic. Now we can get these ports. Get all these ports cleaned up, hopefully. As much as possible, anyway. Not sure how to angle it for y'all to see that. Of course, the top still seems like they're dirty. I've gone over them a few times already. So, see if I can, I'm gonna try to get it clean this way. It's kind of a weird angle for me, but let's see. Well, that one I kind of need to turn so I can see where which way the pins are facing real quick. Oh, still can't see. Oh, they are the other way. Okay. Alright. Okay. I mean, I had to, I got to see the pins. Yep. Dirty little thing in there too. I do have wipes. Maybe I could try some of that on the tops instead of using a Q-tip. I'm gonna get another one so I could squeeze it, pinch the end. We're gonna make it like a little tapered end there. I don't know if y'all can see that. And we're gonna put this in there, kind of get in between the bottom and top as much as possible. Yeah, there we go. That actually turned out pretty good. Turned out quite good, that did. Alright. I'll get another one to redo this. So I don't want to... Sorry, I'm getting a little focused, but... Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Because the pins are the opposite direction, so... Let's do that. Just taper that end of it again. Just pinch it. And then we'll go back in. Just like that. And that should, yeah, that should do pretty good. And we'll come back, get all the cotton out of there if there's any. Likely going to be anyway. That one's already got, it's got little bits of dust in there. Yep. Okay. What does this look like? Okay. Alright. There we go. Alright. I think that's all this one needs to be done. Come on, there we are. Just throw this in there and swirl it around. Alright, we can pinch this again. Put it in this HDMI. There we go. And then whirlybird around here. Like I said, it ain't perfect, but don't really have any other way to get in there real good. At least if anything, the alcohol kind of dissolve anything that doesn't need to be there for the most part. Okay. Then I'll get the pads and wipe these tops off. I can still use that. These little alcohol pads here. Wife got me these to help out. It's real nice. They're only 71% or 70% alcohol, but they do what I need them to as far as this is concerned. So, and it doesn't touch, you know, it's not going on the board, so it should be okay for the most part. This will allow me to really kind of scrub down on it a little bit, as opposed to the Q-tip, which will end up falling apart. There we go, that's much, much better. Okay. Alright, let's check the bottom right quick, see what it looks like, if it needs some. So I think I've already got this the other day, yeah. For the most part it is what it is. Let's see, I just want to check just to make sure. So I'm already here. We're already here, I should say. See if this is doing anything. If it doesn't do anything, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's still the same. Still the same. Yeah, which is fine. This stuff isn't hurting nothing down here. It's all the same. It's all from manufacturer flux and things of that sort in nature. So we should be good. Okay. Bothers me because I can see it when it dries, but nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Okay. For the most part, pretty well got her tidied up. And like I said, at this point, the only thing left is really to get a lot of this stuff soaking into a tub. Like this, for instance, which is horridly gross. I think you can see that. Yeah. Gotta get YouTube refreshed because I'm not sure where they are. There we are. Okay. So, like I said, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's pretty gross. Yeah, all the little dots and bits. So going to it's gonna have to scrub, but I gotta put the other stuff in the tub. This ended up being a longer project than I thought. I think we'll end that for now, and we'll move on. And we're gonna take a break, maybe an hour or two. So what time is it? Okay. So we'll probably come back, hopefully about 5:30 at the latest, and then we'll play Max Payne 2. These are the things I need to get in the tub. So we'll get Max Payne 2 going on PS2, and then probably like I said, with all this with this one, I may actually end up doing offline, just so I can get it going. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to be able to just do this on stream real quick, but that was not the case. So, and that's all right. What we'll do is, like I said, I'm going to take a break, come back probably in a couple hours, get Max Payne 2 started, or maybe play along some more, what is it called, maybe get some more done on Twisted Metal 2, try to get finished with Spectre and or Grasshopper, because both of those I have not completed yet. But I'm not sure which one yet. I may just wait till tomorrow for Max Payne. I don't know. One of the two is going to happen, but either way it'll be on PlayStation. So, alright then, we will catch y'all later, and I will continue this on another time, and hopefully I can get this going. And just before I really get off here, you guys can see how much nonsense this has been for this little ride here. Throw all that crap away. Just a dead pile of nonsense here. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Hopefully we'll see y'all this afternoon. Alrighty, take care.